Exercising at home is one of the most popular ways to get your workouts in. And while we promote going to a gym or going to a studio, a place where you can have guidance and you can have equipment, many people find that exercising at home still is the best option for them. So if this is you, then what do you need to keep in mind in order to effectively get your workouts in while at home? What makes working out at home such a great option for so many people? And what do you need to make sure that you're doing with your at-home workouts in order to allow them to build your health day after day for decades on end? These are the exact topics that we're going to be exploring during today's episode of the Exercise is Health podcast. We're going to cue the intro song and then we're going to dive right into this conversation. Welcome to the Exercise is Health podcast, where we're talking about exercise, health, and the interconnectedness of the two. We are your hosts, Charlie
and Julie,
and we will be coming to you every single week from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg. Hey, what's going on, exercisers? This is Charlie. Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to ask you if you've ever thought to yourself, wow, the information on the Exercise is Health podcast is so great, but how do I go about implementing it? This is a question that we've been hearing time and again from so many of you. And because of that, we have created something that you are going to absolutely love. And that is the One Workout Away Challenge. See, you are just one workout away from feeling stronger, from functioning better, and from living healthier. And over the course of 28 days, Julie and I want to teach you how. To learn more about the next One Workout Away Challenge and get signed up, go to owa.matschaumburg.com. And without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Hey, welcome back, exercisers, to the Exercise is Health podcast. We are your hosts, Charlie
and Julie,
and we're coming to you from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg, here in Schaumburg, Illinois, where we believe that your health is your most valuable asset, and the single best thing that you can do to both boost and protect this asset is exercise. Specifically, exercise is geared towards building the health and function of your muscles. Now, we appreciate every single one of you exercisers who listens with us week in and week out, and we appreciate every single one of you exercisers who's brand new to listening to us here on the Exercise is Health podcast. Now, some of you have taken the time to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and for that, we truly say thank you. We want to take a moment right now to highlight a review that we recently received.
This 5-star review says, Julie and Charlie do an outstanding job of breaking down and explaining the benefits, the how-to, and the why behind exercise. This is a must listen if you want to improve your health or if you are a professional in the fitness industry looking to improve your skills. Thank you so much for that 5-star review. And yes, we are on a mission to help you change your exercise to improving your health. And we know we do have a lot of fellow professionals and colleagues that listen to our podcast, and we appreciate you. So if you are listening now, we'd love to hear from you. Please go to Apple Podcasts and leave us that rating and review.
You know, Julie, every week we talk about ways to make sure that your exercise is building your health and, improving the function of your body and making sure that it leaves you feeling well and, something that you can keep coming back to. But really, at the end of the day, what matters most about your exercise is that it's actually getting done, right? Like we say all the time, you don't get the health benefits of exercise unless you do the exercise. You don't get the health benefits by listening about exercise or watching exercise or, learning about exercise. Like all that is great. And it's super important in order to make sure that how you're exercising is done correctly for your body. But at the end of the day, you still have to do the exercise. And one thing that we find that a lot of people get tripped up on is the idea of like, well, I need to go to a gym in order to exercise. Now, home workouts have certainly grown in popularity over the last couple of years. There's no doubt about it. And while we often promote, especially on this podcast, the idea of working with a trainer or the importance of going to the gym where there's equipment or, heavier weights or things like that, you can't deny the fact that many people are going to be far more consistent with their workouts if they understand how to exercise from the convenience of their own home. So with that in mind, what we want to talk with you about today is like what we call the 3 C's of exercising at home. In other words, like, what do you need to know about your workouts in order to effectively exercise at home? And why might exercising at home be the best option for you?
Charlie, I remember when we were creating the at-home workout program, and we created it when we were at a stay-at-home order during the COVID pandemic. And I remember asking our people that were participating, who were all working out from home because every gym was closed, I said, oh my goodness, I can't wait to go lift weights at the gym. You know, there's just a certain appeal to that for me. And every single one of our participants said, I don't miss it. I like working out at home. So it was very interesting. So something different works for everybody. And if you are someone that is going to be a home workout exerciser, great. I love it. I'm happy that you are exercising at home. If you are going to be a gym workout person, great. I love it. Or if you're going to be, I hire a personal trainer type of workout person, that's awesome too. Whatever it is that you actually do it with is what matters. So I think the first C for working out at home is that it can be the most convenient way to do it. The first layer of convenience comes with time, meaning you don't have a commute to and from the gym to get in your 20-minute workout or your hour-long workout. It doesn't turn an hour-long workout into an hour and a half to 2-hour workout. It doesn't turn a 20-minute workout into an hour workout. So it's convenient because of time. You don't have to drive anywhere to do your workout when you're working out at home.
Yeah, this really is a huge piece because the number one reason that people don't exercise with any kind of consistency is because we tell ourselves a story that we don't have time. So any way that you can cut down on the time required in order to get your exercise in, that's a huge win. That's a huge win, something that needs to strongly be considered when you're thinking about, okay, well, how should I go about exercising? And, you know, what things do I need to do in order to get my workouts in? So the time convenience is a huge factor when it comes to working out at home.
So I used to actually be really committed to only working out in a gym. And I think the reason being is that, you know, I have worked in a gym for a very long time and have easy access to gym equipment. But since I've expanded my horizons to working out at home, I think my quality and my ability to get it done has really improved since starting to work out at home. So for example, Charlie and I, we don't have weights and stuff at home, but we do have a cycle bike. And for me to be able to just hop on the cycle bike and get in a really great cardio workout has really made a world of a difference in me being able to get it in, especially with the schedule restraints of, you know, we run a small business, we have a young family, and it's nice to feel like all I need is my baby monitor in front of me and my cycling shoes, and I'm ready to get in a great workout versus, okay, I need to find a babysitter, I need to drive to the gym, I need to get in my workout, I need to drive home, or I need to stop my workday and find time in my workday to get in my workout. So really adding in that opportunity to work out at home has really improved, I think, number one, my health because I'm doing it more, and just the ease of availability to do it.
Yeah, that's really a huge point. I mean, look, the fewer things that you can cut out between you and you getting your workout in, the more likely you are to get it in. So from a working out at home standpoint, what does this look like? Well, for me, like a lot of nights, I'll just take my workout clothes and I'll put them right by our cycle bike because I know that my workout clothes are right there. My workout shoes are right there. And so that removes the step of me having to go and get them organized, get everything found in the morning so I can get up, I can do my morning routine, and then boom, right away, like I can start my workout. And, you know, we've talked about this before, like it may not seem like that big of a deal, but I'm telling you, the mornings when you wake up and you just want to keep hitting the snooze, the mornings that you just want to stay tucked in bed, but you're like, oh, I have to get up, you know, I know that I need to get up. And so you kind of start your morning and stuff. Those are the mornings where there's the most resistance to kind of doing anything extra. And for so many of us, getting a workout in feels like something extra in our schedule. It feels like a burden in a lot of ways. And so the question, well, how do you go about like minimizing that, right? How can you go about reducing what I call that friction? And one of the easiest ways to do that is just to kind of eliminate the steps that you need to take in order to get your workout in. And so working out out at home from a time perspective, from a location, the convenience of the location, like you really can't beat that. And so because of that, there are so many kind of like tips and tricks that you can use in order to minimize the friction even more. Like I was saying, just kind of getting everything set up the night before, getting your water in place, getting your clothes in place. So it's all right there. And then even if you're not like really feeling it, there's less stuff that you have to overcome mentally, less stuff that you have to overcome emotionally in order to actually start getting your workout in and get through those first 3 to 5 minutes that we all hate.
I know. I think a lot of us think that the barrier to entry to a workout is very intense and the line is very hard, but the line is actually very soft. And I think working out at home and preparing for a workout at home is really a great way to break down that barrier and jump right into a workout. And I think that brings us to our next point, which working out at home is the maximum amount of comfortable, meaning you're in your own home. And I didn't realize this because I have worked out in a gym for a very long time, but many people don't really feel comfortable navigating a gym, and that's okay. You don't have to feel comfortable navigating a gym to improve your health with exercise. You can exercise at home.
Absolutely. This is a huge thing, and especially if there are parts of the gym environment that you just don't like. And believe me, if there are parts of the gym environment that you don't like, you are not alone. In fact, that's one of the biggest reasons why people don't go to gyms is because they flat out don't like the atmosphere of gyms. They don't like the music. They don't like the smell. They don't like the gym culture. They don't like knowing that whenever they go there, there's always going to be eyes on them, even if it's, unintentional or whatever. They just don't want to be around other people. Or even if they're not working with one of those kind of like rah-rah, scream your head off trainers, the fact that there's a rah-rah, scream your head off trainer in the environment that they're trying to get in their workout in, it still makes them feel really uncomfortable. And I get that. I do. And so that's one of the beauties of being able to exercise at home is you don't have to deal with all that. You don't have to deal with trying to, one, figure out the lay of the land of, okay, where the equipment is and everything like that, like you do when you first go to a gym. You don't have to deal with, the smell of the gym or the music that you don't want to listen to or, the other people there, whether it's, other gym members or, the other trainers putting out their sound pollution, whether like cheering their client on, but everybody else has to listen to it as well. Believe me, I've been that trainer. When I got my first personal training job in downtown Chicago, I found out about 3 or 4 months in that the other trainers would actually count the number of times that I would clap for my client during each session, and they would put bets on what the over-under would be every single hour. So I've been that trainer. And guess what? Not that many people like it. And so if you're one of those people that doesn't like it, that's okay, because exercising at home, you don't have to deal with that.
Absolutely. I remember I used to take kickboxing class, and I remember it was like a fitness kickboxing. So we weren't like, we kickbox, but it wasn't like serious. You had to know the moves and all that stuff. And then I left college and I went to like a new gym, and I was like, oh yeah, here's their fitness kickboxing. And I remember when I walked in, I could tell that I was like different than everyone else. Like, oh, we're going to be like serious in this class. This is more than fitness. This one is technical. And I remember in the beginning, I felt so overwhelmed and almost like, if you would imagine me being like an outgoing, bubbly person, I was very like within myself, kind of sitting by myself, watching everyone. And I could imagine that anyone in a situation where they walk into a room or a class or a gym where you're like, ooh, I'm not like comfortable with different parts of this, whether I feel like people are on a different level than me, or, the whole vibe here is weird, or the music is, you just feel like this is not where I should be. And you don't have to get over that again to get in your workouts. That's the beauty of working out at home, is that you're going to be in your own environment. So if you don't feel comfortable when you walk in a gym, that's okay. You can be working out at home, and you don't have to be worried about getting to that comfort level because you're already there.
Exactly. And this kind of leads right into the third C of exercising at home and the beauty of exercising at home. And we're going to label it consistency. Now, this is not the consistency of like, oh, you're getting your workouts in, but we're going to say the consistency of your environment. All right. Meaning sometimes when you go to the gym and like the whole drive there, like you got your music going and you're envisioning, okay, when I get to the gym, like I'm going to hop on the elliptical and that's where I'm going to spend, my first 10 minutes. I'm going to get a good sweat going and then I'm going to go to the leg press and then, I'm going to go use the stability ball and do some abs and stuff like that. And then you get there and all the ellipticals are filled and the leg press is being taken over by a wannabe Instagram influencer. And the stability balls, there are none in sight because there's a small group training class going on. And apparently today is stability ball day. And every single exercise that they're doing requires the use of every single stability ball within the gym. And so you're like, oh, well, that kind of stinks. And so the consistency of like knowing what you're going to be able to use for your workouts and the consistency of just like, okay, well, who's going to be at the gym today? What music are they? All that stuff. That's always in flux at, a big box gym or any kind of studio or anything like that. Okay. But when you exercise at home, you get to control all that. Now, here's the thing. If you have one cycle bike at home and your partner or spouse is wanting to use the cycle bike as well, there may be, some scheduling discussions that have to happen in order to know that at this time of the day, it is your time to get on the cycle bike. But aside from that, like you're not worried about somebody, posting up their phone so they can take videos of themselves working out on the same machine for 25 minutes when you're like, hey, can't I just get my 3 sets in and then move on? We really need to watch you doing this whole song and dance. So you don't have to worry about all that. You get that consistency of your environment. You know exactly what's going to be available to you and you know exactly what to expect.
Absolutely, Charlie. And I know that one of the ways that you've talked about reducing friction for your workouts is not only having like your stuff ready, like my clothes, my shoes, what's going to be happening, but is preparing, knowing what you're going to do when you walk in. And that can be overwhelming at a gym sometimes because more often than you think, there are these things that come up where, a section of the gym is closed down for renovations or the machine you get on hasn't been maintained in 5 years. And so it's kind of not working right. And, the group fitness class. I remember I used to teach a group fitness class and we would block off half of the treadmills from 5 to 6 p.m. I mean, that's a hot time to come to the gym.
Prime time.
And the other half of the treadmills were taken. And I had no shame. I didn't care. But looking back, I was thinking, I could do nothing about it. I had to teach a class, but that could be a real inconvenience if you went there planning to jog or walk on the treadmill, which a lot of people do. Treadmills are very popular. I remember when I worked at another gym, they were renovating. And so for an entire year, you could expect to go to the weights floor and whole entire sections would be closed down. So it does produce a lack of consistency and a lack of predictability when you are working out at a gym. So working out at home can be really nice because you know the stuff you have, you know the stuff you don't have, and you can plan your workouts accordingly. It's beautiful.
Now you might be wondering, okay, well, all right, all this sounds great, but how in the world do I actually go about exercising at home? And so if this question's ever crossed your mind, we'll let you know that we actually have some fantastic resources for you in order to start exercising at home, one of which is starting up really soon. And it's called the One Workout Away Challenge, okay? And the One Workout Away Challenge is 28 days of guidance by Julie and me, where you get to learn exactly how you can exercise at home for your body in a way that feels good and is a way that is sustainable for your schedule. All right. The One Workout Away Challenge, it's starting soon. So all you have to do to get registered is go to owa.matschaumburg.com. So head there, check that out, get signed up for the upcoming One Workout Away Challenge. And that will provide you an awesome template in order to be able to exercise consistently from the convenience of your home, no matter how much or how little equipment you have, no matter how much experience or not with exercise you have, and quite frankly, no matter how much interest in exercise you have, because we're going to show you a way, again, to exercise that not only feels good for your body, but you can get into your schedule no matter what else is going on.
So to recap, there are 3 C's that make working out at home awesome and potent for your health. Number one, it's convenient. You can get there. There's no commute. It's always there. And you can always rely on jumping into a workout within a minute or two of changing your clothes or not changing your clothes. Number two, it's comfortable, meaning there's no barrier to entry. There's no status that you have to work out in your own home. Everyone is comfortable working out in their own home. And number three, it is consistent. You know what's going to be available to you. You know you'll be able to get on X, Y, and Z equipment or dumbbells or bands, whatever you have available, versus at the gym where there is some level of variance every time you arrive. So if you are wondering about working out at home or you have been working out at home, yay for you. You are making the right steps to improving your health with home workouts.
So who do you know that needs to hear this episode? Who do you know that is resistant to starting to exercise consistently because they feel like they need to go to a gym in order to do so? Share this episode with them so they can learn about the benefits of being able to exercise at home and how they can actually help them to start getting their workouts in on a more frequent basis. And while you're online, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It helps people find this episode when they're looking for information on exercise and when they're looking for information on health. So if you found value in this conversation today, let us know by leaving us that 5-star rating and review. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.
So what did you think about that episode? Did you find the information useful? If you would like some more in-depth guidance on applying this kind of information to your own workouts, make sure to sign up for the upcoming One Workout Away Challenge. You can get registered by going to owa.matschaumburg.com.
This podcast is for information purposes only. The statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Julie and Charlie Gates, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical issue, consult a licensed physician.